Old trolley lines that were put in place, well, back at the turn of the century. They were last used in the 1950s.
Hundreds and perhaps thousands of Highland Parkers are facing this situation.
No water or little water at Paul Lee's Highland Park home since 9 a.m. and throughout the day.
I saw up and down Massachusetts, the street that I live on, people looking to see if their water had been cut off at the lawn, where when your water gets turned off, the city comes off and does it. They didn't know what had happened. I didn't either.
Well, this is why. On the other side of Highland Park on Hamilton Avenue, two water main breaks side by side. Tonight, contractors wrapping up the job. The water back on. But residents want to know, why weren't they told they'd be without water all day?
What I find disappointing is that while Channel 7 Action News comes out here to interview me, because you're very good at being responsive to community needs, why didn't our mayor call a news conference or put something on their websites, not only to advise the citizens of what's happening, but also to give them advice on what to do? For example, I can't even flush my toilets now.
At the scene of the break, Highland Park's Mayor DeAndre Window. We asked why no warning for residents.
We had calls coming into City Hall. We had people. Oh yeah, we were responding to calls. My secretary didn't leave at 7 o'clock.
Good. Would it make sense to update the website or something like that to tell people what's going on?
It's just, unfortunately, we don't have the personnel to update our website.
Yeah, Highland Park has long had a budget issue. The mayor tells me the person responsible for updating that website also answers phones for the city, works for the police department, and also does payroll for the city. Well, live tonight, Highland Park, Jeff Vaughn, 7 Action News.
Sounds like a tough situation. All right, thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, we're turning now to breaking news that is just coming into our newsroom out of Sweden. Several people have been shot inside a restaurant. Few details have been released so far, but right now the Associated Press is reporting that some of those victims have died.
This is happening in Gothenburg, the second largest city in Sweden. The shooting comes on the same day as that mass shooting at a museum in Tunisia that left 20 people dead there. We will bring you more information just as soon as it becomes available to us. Well, a family in Ann Arbor is in the dark tonight because DTE Energy shut off power to their home.
Yeah, 7 Action News reporter Dave Llewellyn, he joins us now from Ann Arbor. Dave, why did DTE take this action?
Well, Malcolm, we're in Ann Arbor tonight, and just a short distance from here is where the Cleary family lives, and they are without power tonight. And the reason for that, DTE shut off the power because they had locked up their analog meter. DTE wants to install one of those smart meters to gauge electric usage at the home, and as a result, the utility says they have the right to shut off power. DTE shut off power to the house late this morning.
We were doing a sewing lesson in my basement, and all of a sudden my sewing machine stopped and the iron shut off and the lights went out. Everything went dead.
Molly Cleary is a nurse. Her husband is a surgeon. She's worried about the health effects associated with the smart meters DTE is installing on homes in communities across Metro Detroit.
I don't want the smart meter on my house. I think there are still emissions from it. I want to keep my analog reader.
Taking the advice of a grassroots group fighting smart meters, Molly locked her meter. That prompted letters and a warning from DTE saying her action was illegal.
They disguise this, I'm creating a health hazard and a safety hazard for my neighbors by having a lock on my meter, as a way to strong-arm me and bully me into forcing me to put that smart meter on my house, because that really is their ultimate goal.
Now, Molly told me tonight she's contacted DTE to tell them she wants to be reconnected. She's taken that lock off her analog meter at her home, but she still doesn't want that new smart meter. We're live in Ann Arbor tonight. Dave Llewellyn, 7 Action News.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. A lot of people have issues with those smart meters.
Certainly do, and are fighting it too. Well, we're going to turn our attention now to the weather. Speaking of energy that people need, spring just days away, but it's feeling a whole lot like winter right now.
They cut off the power to the sun, Dave. Back to our chief meteorologist.
We had this storm surge off the sun Sunday through last night. Got the northern lights around here. Now it looks like they've kind of dimmed the lights, so to speak, if you will. It's already 27 in Port Huron, 34 in Mount Clemens right now, 38 in Pontiac, 41 in Detroit, 40 in Ann Arbor, and 37 in Monroe. also out to the west in Jackson. So a lot of clear skies, just a few high clouds, so the heat's getting out here pretty darn fast. You can see Port Huron, again, way different than Detroit, much cooler, and you just kind of go up the northeast side of the lower peninsula up to Sault Ste. Marie, which is sitting at 20 right now. All that area is a lot colder than the rest of the state, which is mostly in the 30s, and so we're right on the edge of being chilly. We'll get there again tonight, and then we'll try to warm it up again tomorrow, but it won't be quite as successful as today. There's not a whole lot of wind anymore. It's around 5 to 10 miles an hour at the very most. You notice some of the lightest winds in Port Huron. That's why they cooled off so quickly here, with the heat getting out pretty fast. So lows overnight tonight around 20 up around I-69. And it looks like it's probably the mid-20s here in the Motor City. Some 40s to come, but unfortunately the first spring weekend will kind of revert back to winter. I'll tell you how that's going to work coming up in your 74.
Yeah, I did not want to hear that, but thanks anyway, Dave. Well, Detroit City Council members, they want a pay raise, and they've come up with a pretty unique way to explain it or market it to voters. Some city council members are calling it a pay restoration rather than a pay raise. Members claim city council's pay was cut by 10% in 2010. It was supposed to be restored in 2013 when the current council was running for office, but then the city filed for bankruptcy.
Well, I just want what I was promised when I ran in 2013.
Would you not have run if you had known that $7,000 or $8,000 was not going to be restored?
Well, maybe.
Now, city council members, they make $73,000 a year. The council president, he makes or she makes $80,000 a year. Ultimately, the decision is up to the city's compensation commission. We'll let you know what they decide.
Well, the state of Michigan has a new superintendent. The State Board of Education selected Dearborn Public School Superintendent Brian Whiston for the top job. Whiston will replace current superintendent Mike Flanagan, who's retiring at the end of June. Whiston was selected on a 7-to-1 vote. He will now work to negotiate his contract, which will start on July 1st.
Rochester High school administrators have decided to much more closely monitor the student newspaper after several photos caught parents' attention. One story about changing trends among students legally smoking featured a picture of an 18-year-old student smoking a hookah pen. Another story discussed the school's sex education program, and it was accompanied by a picture of a condom over a banana, and another picture had a pair of hands opening a condom. Now, parents called the administrators to complain, saying the images were inappropriate. So from here on out, the school's principal must approve each monthly issue before it hits the press.
Well, prosecutors are deciding whether to charge two Highland Park parents whose 2-year-old daughter wandered alone to a nearby gas station. The toddler left the family's apartment, crossed a dark street, and tried to buy some candy from the station with a couple of pennies. The owner of the gas station locked the doors, thank goodness, and called 911. Police found her family 45 minutes later. Police are pursuing child endangerment and neglect charges.
A man is locked up tonight accused of kidnapping his ex-girlfriend and their son. Detroit police tell us it all started when he rammed their car at Cadju and Mack early this morning. 26-year-old Nathaniel Nix then dropped the 7-year-old boy off at a relative's house and took the woman to another home. He gave up about 2 hours later. No one was hurt. We're told Nix has a history of violence, including an outstanding warrant for assault in the city of Warren.
All right, we're going to turn to breaking news right now out of Los Angeles. You're looking live at pictures of a motorcycle chase. It has stopped now. The suspect has just stopped at this gas station right here. You can actually see police taking him into custody now. These are live pictures of it unfolding here on the scene. California Highway Patrol officers have followed the suspect across several cities. Earlier, we saw the rider stand up on the motorcycle as he was trying to get away. We will continue to follow this story and let you know how it all turns out.
So the past 2 days, we've had 3 guys running from police, high-speed chases in California.
Which is not a good thing.
No, not a good thing at all. Never ends well. Still to come on 7 Action News, a close call for a family after a boiler exploded, goes through their wall into the playroom. It was all caught on nanny cam. We'll tell you what caused this whole incident.
Plus, a shooting rampage shuts down an entire city. Tonight, we are learning new details about the identity of the gunman.
And stay tuned with Channel 7 Action News on TV20 Detroit. We will return momentarily. And once again, thank you for watching us on TV20 Detroit. Channel 7 Action News WXYZ.com is always taking action for you. We will return with the rest of our news broadcast live at 10:45. See you shortly.